woman sits by the window, gazing into the distance. She's waiting to board a train to see her husband. At this moment, two fake train conductors came in to check tickets, pulling her from her fantasy back to reality. The woman suffers from dementia. Since her husband passed away, she has been trapped in beautiful memories, waiting for the train to arrive so she can see her beloved again. After reviewing the documents, Jason refused the client's loan request, but to his surprise, the man immediately lost his temper. Then the files on the desk suddenly turned into food. That's when he realized the man before him was actually his son. In his younger years, Jason was a bank manager who worked hard to provide his family with a comfortable life. But now in his old age, he faces his son's resentment, even being criticized for eating too slowly, delaying the play he was planning to see with his wife. To preserve his last shred of dignity, Jason knocked over the food in front of him and told his son to leave without him. Not wanting to burden his family anymore, Jason decided to move into a nursing home. His son was visibly relieved to be free of the burden and quickly handled the paperwork. His son promised he'd visit often. His daughter-in-law's expression made it clear that this promise was just an empty lie. Only after they drove away, he said his final goodbye to his son. It also means that he will spend the rest of his life here. Newly arrived at the nursing home, Jason felt as nervous as a child, transferring to an unfamiliar classroom. Though the nursing home rooms were clean and tidy, they seemed all the more desolate for it. There he met his roommate, Paul. The elderly sent here were like convicted criminals, and the nursing home was their prison. Paul offered to give him a tour, using smooth talk to trick him out of a non-existent $10 registration fee. The lounge was the liveliest place in the nursing home, where residents relaxed and chatted. Jenny, once a broadcaster, seemed to have used up all his words for a lifetime, and now only mimicked others' speech. Then Paul showed him the viewing room that only played nature documentaries, and the gym the elderly residents would never use. It even had a swimming pool, which would have been Jason's only comfort, as he loved swimming. But Paul told him the pool was not open. The residents here could barely bathe themselves, let alone swim. These facilities were just to attract clients. The elderly were like pets in a boarding kennel, and their children were the nursing home's true customers. Mrs. Debbie spent every day looking for a phone to call her children to take her back home. Paul would regularly trick her out of $10 for a call and tell her to go to the front desk to make the call. But Mrs. Debbie never managed to make that call. By the time she found the front desk, she had forgotten what she wanted to do. Besides, the front desk would never let her make calls anyway. Jason stared down the hallway with countless doors, unable to remember which room was his. Suddenly he heard shouting from upstairs. As he stood there confused, Paul appeared. He told Jason that the floor above housed seniors who couldn't care for themselves. Once sent up there, life was essentially over. Before bed, Jason placed his wallet and watch on the table. Having witnessed Paul's deceptions during the day, Jason deliberately waited until Paul was in bed before going to sleep. His son, now free of his burden, hurriedly cleaned out the house and put up a for sale sign.